Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today in this video I'm gonna show how to dual boot macOS Sequoia on PC with pre-installed Windows 10 or 11. So before starting, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and stay connected for the latest updates. So without further ado, let's get started. For this dual boot guide, you'll require a PC that is compatible with macOS. To know more about the hardware compatibility list, please check our forum. At least 100 GB drive space on your Windows disk, for macOS installation. A USB with minimum 2 GB capacity, and a working internet connection. This guide is focused on installing macOS and Windows on a single drive. If you want to dual boot macOS Sequoia and Windows 11 on two separate drives, a guide for that has already been published. Follow the guide from I button. Now, after getting ready with the requirements, it's time to create macOS Sequoia Bootable Recovery Installer. For that, you'll require OpenCore package, EFI according to your target hardware. To create an EFI for yourself, follow the guide from the I button. Rufus for formatting the USB. Also, any USB with a minimum 2 GB capacity is required. For creating the USB, you'll need Python. To install Python, open Microsoft Store, then search for Python. Here, click on Get to install it. After Python is installed, close Microsoft Store, and then open the OpenCore package folder, and then go to the Utilities folder. Now here, select the Mac Recovery folder, and then copy the folder as path. After copying, run command prompt as administrator. Now in the command prompt, type cd, and with one space paste the copied path, and press the enter key. Now, open the Mac Recovery folder under the Utilities folder of OpenCore package, and then open the recovery URL's test file. In the text file, scroll till last, and then copy the URL as shown. After copying the URL, paste it to the command prompt window, and with one space type download and then press enter key. And now, a new Python window will open, and few files will be downloaded. After the download is complete, the second command prompt window will exit. Now close the command prompt, and verify that a base system.chunklist and base system.dmg are available in the following folder. Now plug your USB, also make sure to have a backup of your USB, as USB will be erased. And after the USB appears, open Rufus. Now in the Rufus window, select your USB from the dropdown, then select non-bootable from the dropdown list under boot selection. Set the partition scheme to MBR, and target system to BIOS. Under the format section set the file system to large FAT32, and then change the volume label to EFI, and click on start, then OK to erase the USB. After the USB is erased, close Rufus, and then browse to your USB. Here delete both the files, and then copy the com.apple.recovery.boot folder from the following folder, and then paste it to the USB. After the file is copied, copy the EFI of your target system, and paste it to the USB. And now, macOS Sequoia Recovery Installer is ready. Now you'll need to create a separate partition for installing macOS. For that, open Disk Management. Here, right-click on C Partition, and then click on Shrink Volume. Here enter the amount of space you want to allocate for macOS, and after entering, click on Shrink. After shrinking of the disk is done, create a new simple volume. After the volume is created, close Disk Management. Now restart your PC, and boot to BIOS. Here, load BIOS defaults and then change the following settings. After changing all the settings, set your USB as first boot option, as macOS installation will restart a few times. And if you don't set USB as a first boot option, you'll end up booting to Windows on every restart. Now after making the changes, exit BIOS saving changes. After booting to OpenCore, boot using EFI-DMG, and wait for some time to boot to the installer. From here, select your preferred language and click on the right arrow button. And now before proceeding, make sure that you're connected to the internet. For connecting to the internet, you can use a USB router, USB to Ethernet adapter, Ethernet or Wi-Fi, if available. After getting connected, select Disk Utility and click on Continue. Here, click on View and then click on Show All Devices. Now select the volume you created for macOS. You can verify the capacity of the partition created for Mac installation. After selecting the drive, click on the Erase button and erase the drive with the following parameters. After erasing the drive, close this utility and now select Reinstall macOS Sequoia and click on Continue, and then continue with the installer. And here if clicking on Continue doesn't work, quit Install macOS and continue with it again and proceed with the installer. Also, if you have connected to Ethernet, and still getting this error, please check out the guide for fixing it. The link to the guide will be in the I button and description as well. Here, select the drive you created and then click on Continue, and now macOS Sequoia will be installed in a while. Keep in mind that the installation process may take a while depending on your internet speed, and during the installation, your PC will restart several times. So don't worry about it. And finally, the macOS Sequoia setup screen is here. Set up your macOS according to your preferences.
macOS contains a built-in screen reader called VoiceOver. If you know how to use VoiceOver, press Command F5 now to turn it on and set up your Mac. If you would like to learn how to use VoiceOver to set up your Mac, press the Escape key.
The colors of the sky fade with the setting sun as the stars begin to shine through the clear night.
After reaching the Sequoia desktop, you must make the PC boot independently without USB. For that, mount the ESP of your system drive. Now, copy both the folder from EFI folder of the USB, and paste them to the EFI folder of internal drive's ESP. After pasting, browse to the following location path and change the name of the file. And now close all and eject all mounted partitions, and restart your PC. After booting to OpenCore, reset the NVRAM once, and then boot to Mac. After booting, mount the ESP of the internal drive. Now browse to the following path, and rename the file again. And now everything is done, and now let me show you the working of both the OS. Keep in mind to never reset your NVRAM, otherwise you'll not be able to boot a Mac. This issue can be eliminated by mapping the Windows entry. To eliminate this issue, follow the mapping guide from my button. And we've successfully booted to Windows 11. Let me show you the hardware specs. And now let's get to macOS. And we've successfully booted to macOS Sequoia. Let me show you the hardware specs. And you can see, both the OS are running perfectly. So, that was it. Dual boot of Windows 11 and macOS Sequoia has been successfully configured on the PC with pre-installed Windows 11. Hope it was useful. Consider like for the video, and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, just comment down below or create a thread on our forum. Make sure to check out the forum for in-depth guides. Thanks for watching and have a great day ahead.